For car design, this is the era of the total rethink. Shape, weight, materials. The performance of our future cars will amaze us.
When you talk about performance cars and performance engineering, there's certain rules of physics you can't avoid. The largest enemy for dynamic performance is mass.
The Caparo T1, a lightning-fast accelerating and decelerating car.
I'm Ben Scott Geddes.
I'm Graham Halstead, and T1 is our vision of the future.
0 to 100 to 0 in 8.5 seconds.
Our goal from the beginning was to try and achieve 1,000 brake horsepower per tonne, which very few cars have actually achieved.
470 kilos, only 1,034 pounds.
Composites naturally can outperform most metallics like steel and aluminium. They're very good at energy absorption, and they're very, very stiff.
Cornering at 3.5 Gs.
The car effectively doubles its weight at 150 miles an hour.
That means, with a long enough stretch of tunnel, you could drive the Caparo upside down. How fast can a street-legal F1 car go? That fast. Total Rethink challenges current car design in every way, especially efficiency.
Why do you need 1.5 tons of steel to bring a human being of 80 kilos just from one place to another? Based on this very simple question, we asked, why do cars need that much fuel? My name is Gerhard Hallmeier. I'm chairman of Loremo. Cars are getting bigger, less aerodynamic in the last decades. Loremo is a chassis concept. So this is where we focused on. Creating a car, having a minimum of weight, and having a perfect aerodynamic. That's efficiency.
Loremo, low resistance mobility. The idea that low resistance is the ally of efficiency.
This car will have an outstanding mileage. It will make more than 150 miles on the gallon. The total weight of the car will be 450 kilos, which is about 1,000 pounds.
Low resistance, a formula based on weight and aerodynamics. But the enemy of low resistance has always been strength. But small does not have to mean weak.
The major invention we have with this car is this linear structure. If you hit a nail like this, it's very, very stiff because all the forces are running through the nail in a linear way.
Because there are no side doors, Loremo's uninterrupted longitudinal supports can be both stiff and lightweight.
We decided to start with a 2-cylinder turbocharged diesel engine. No matter what the source is, we need less energy. We need less electricity, we need less hydrogen, or we need less diesel. A Loremo always will be different, but it will be the most efficient car in the market.
The Loremo efficiency equation. Los Angeles to Denver, 1,000 miles, 7 gallons of gas.
I regard biomimetics as the abstraction of good design from nature. And we're seeing what we can take from biology and put into an engineering environment. I'm Julian Vincent. I head up a research group in the mechanical engineering department in the University of Bath. We've been doing engineering, I suppose, for about 3,000 years now, from the Chinese onwards, but nature's been doing engineering for millions of years. And the advantage of this is that evolution and natural selection have sorted out all the bad designs and we're just left with the good ones. So a lot of the prototyping's been done already. Some people are doing research at the moment on what they call morphing structures, people in aerospace, for instance. And the idea here is that, like a bird's wing, you can change its shape according to the aerodynamic function. Now, is it possible, would it be worthwhile changing the shape of a car, for instance, so that when you have it in the city, it's a sort of short and upright thing, so you can park it in a small space. But then when you go out into the country and you want the thing to be streamlined, it sort of squats down on the road and becomes a low, streamlined object.
From efficiency to safety, right now.
And the Autolux is my vision for 2030. If there's going to be autonomous driving, you don't have to sit in the front and face forward. You might as well create more of a home or like den or club-like environment where the people are opposed to each other and they can actually face each other and converse. I thought about incorporating actual wood onto the exterior It's a luxury vehicle, but I want it to come across as flashy, just to create a really elegant and sleek and clean design.
Cars versus cities. The battle is looming. Buildings cannot be moved. Streets cannot be widened. And with twice as many drivers on the road in 2030, designers are starting to create the perfect urban vehicle. Think fun. Think efficient. Think narrow.
My name is Damien Harty, and the narrow car is my vision of the future. Our cities are full of 5 and 7 and even more seat vehicles that are only carrying 1 and 2 people. If we imagine a bigger vehicle fleet but of smaller vehicles, we can still do all the stuff we want. See, that's kind of wide for this street, that van. And if he's got stuff to carry in that van, that's fine, but the estate car that I drive round in, it's just as wide as that, and it really doesn't need to be. Imagine this street, same street, tranquil, quiet, but with two-way traffic on it, with narrow vehicles. There's a great deal of improved access that we can give in our cities if we accept the idea that vehicles don't have to be as wide as they currently are. This is the narrow. It is a free leaner. It's kind of like a motorcycle catamaran. It's like 2 motorcycles side by side. When we come round to the front, there's a linkage here that allows the car to move up and down on its suspension and give us some really good ride comfort over the lumps and bumps that we cross. But it also allows the vehicle to lean all the way this way. Now, when that happens, you can see the physics of the geometry, the forces and moments in the steering system. They've turned the wheels in. And when something leans over and turns in like this, it wants to make itself come back upright again. And that's exactly the same physics that a motorcycle uses to stabilize itself. Because this vehicle is very light, we have a very low power requirement. It means it can be among the first to adopt fuel cell technology, some revolutionary battery technology. Whatever the future of powertrains hold, this platform makes very light demands on it.
And other designers are leaning in the same direction, on 3 wheels.
My name is Frank Vermeulen, and I'm the managing director of Carver. Our vision is that you need a 2-person vehicle for the future, 2 people sitting behind each other. That's how you can make a very fuel and energy efficient vehicle. And by tilting the vehicle like a motorbike, you can add an awful lot of fun.
The feeling you get inside when you're driving it, it's just like in an airplane. You have no lateral forces on your body. It's simply a great feeling.
Everything in nature tilts when it corners. With the Carver, you just take advantage of that. People even think that tilting vehicles make people go car sick, but it is in fact just the opposite. You get car sick in a car. You don't get that in a leaning, tilting vehicle like the Carver. You should steer the Carver just like a normal car, and there's a special hydraulic system which continuously adjusts the tilting angle. This is the hydraulic control valve connected to your steering wheel, and this is what makes the vehicle tilt.
The movement towards small vehicles is alive everywhere, from Europe to Asia to the studio of the design interns.
안녕하세요. 저 이름은 박보연이고요.
Hi, I'm Bo from CCS.
30년 미래
This is a cross-use vehicle without a driver. I was inspired by organic sculpture and kids' shoes and chairs.
2030년 때
This vehicle is for only 1 person, so I wanted to have only 1 door opening. I wanted it to be a small vehicle with enough space to enjoy the ride. I wanted a friendly shape for the kids. I would buy it for my kids and for me.
What if a car designer was to design a skyscraper? What if an architect was to design a car? What if a planner was designing the trains or changing the material of a train?
Some people imagine the future only as what is possible. But Dr. Mitchell Joachim and his fellow futurists at the MIT Media Lab are creating vehicles that seem closer to impossible.
Anymore, it's about
What would you call a theory that cars should be so soft that they run over a child and not hurt them?
Imagine if you're driving down the street and it's okay to make human contact or car-to-car contact.
You'd call it transology,
Rethinking the solution space.
the study of mobility and the environment.
The future is going to be a more profound synthesis between human mobility and the cities and the places that we dwell in. So why not think about cars that fit around cities? Gentle congestion is about rethinking the space of the street to be safer for children, safer for pedestrians, and safer for other motorists. Because the material of that car is made out of self-healing mats or pleated surfaces like clothing. You can patch it on the go. Or something that's okay to scuff, like so many sheep moving together. The body doesn't have to be asked to absorb all the impact it would.
Transology is, in fact, an extreme vision that will inspire others to create. Your future is Mitchell Joachim's past.
Omnidirectional driving is a very strange kind of phenomenon that we're just beginning to comprehend. They're omnidirectional vehicles. They're moving in streams, in flocks, in herds that are controlled computationally. It's very similar to taking a helicopter and just driving it on the road, but it can move in any other direction. I think that the interns in their designs need to not so selfishly think about the car as an object or an artifact in the city, but need to think about the context, almost even more so than the actual object. So you're like facing each other like on a bus, and you're moving through the city, and this becomes, it's basically a moving viewing pavilion.
Just wait and see what your grandkids dream about. Cars that look like this. The life